submission or to other points, and if you wish to leave time at the end of that period, if you want to make a shorter submission and have time for questions, that's up to you, or if you wish to use the whole 5 minutes to canvass your argument or other argument, that's up to you as well. So,
thanks. I haven't actually written a speech, so I'm just going to basically talk to, I just printed this off and I'll just talk to my submission.
Sure.
But the first thing I want to ask is, there's only 2 MPs here, is that right?
In the subcommittee, yes, hearing, we've split into subcommittees and then we're taking the evidence back to discuss. It's a committee process.
Yeah, I actually think, I just want to make myself heard. I don't think that's really good. Like, we are representing the public and we want to be represented as the committee in Parliament, and to have 2 people. And then you've got to interpret what we've said and take it back to the greater committee. I don't feel that what I've said is truly represented then. I think we should have the whole committee, and I just want to have that heard.
Your note.
Yeah. And the other thing I want to say is, I nearly missed out when I got a phone call that said, well, no, I had to ring up and say, well, apparently the hearing's finishing soon. He said, oh, we rang you once, there was no reply. It's not our job to follow up on this. So, I just think the whole process with having New Zealanders be heard in those 2 regards maybe needs to be improved a bit, because I was a bit upset about that, nearly missing out being heard.
I will ask some questions on that. My experience is that there was usually a couple of calls, but if that's not the case,
no email either.
I'll raise that with the committee.
Thank you. So does my time start now?
No, it's already started, I'm afraid.
All right, well, the first thing I want to say is, I've read what's in the bill, I've read the disclosure statement, I've read what's in the media, and all of those articles and bits of writing basically either say outright or imply that the reason this bill is being put forward is because they want greater fluoridation and everybody will receive fluoridation. And that's a very clear message that ultimately the decision's already been made, you just want a process whereby it can go. I mean, what the bill actually says is we want to put this in the hands, the decision making in the hand of the DHB. But it's actually written really clearly that they've already decided what the DHB is going to do anyway. So, do you see what I mean? It's actually a democratic question, not a health question at this stage.
Well, welcome your comments on the process, because in fact that's what the bill is about.
Yeah, so, and that's what I'm saying. So if we're going to just take that alone, that's a democratic question. We need to say, well, putting it in the hands of DHBs is a very centralised decision making that's not as open to the feedback from the public. And given it's already ultimately a predetermined outcome, that's why I'm opposing this bill. The other thing about the bill is that it's putting it in the hands of the DHBs, but it's actually a really, as you know, highly controversial issue. And the bill outlines only that they're going to look at the effects of fluoride on oral health. But it has the scope is too narrow because it has no allowance to look at the effect on fluoride on overall health. And that is the most important part. And I've put in my submission here, and I hope you've noticed it, I hope you read it, I hope all the committee members, select committee members read it on page 9, of a proposition that the bill should actually have in it that if it is going to go to DHBs, which I oppose, it should take into account all the organ systems of the body. You're not just looking at teeth, you should be looking at neurologists, oncologists, epidemiologists, people involved in bone fractures and bone disease, because they're the ones that know how it affects the body as a whole. And I really want to point you to the end of page 9 here, because the bill should have lots of things in it, like reviewing the information periodically. There's more information coming up all the time, even since 2014, which is when you did your New Zealand review on this. And I just have to say, I actually find that there's a lot of holes in the New Zealand 2014 review, which I've read, and I would urge you to consider the National Research Council review done in America, which was a much bigger meta-analysis, which had a bigger budget and more time and came up with different results. And what they're saying, and what most of these studies are actually saying is, yes, fluoride is toxic in higher doses, but there's actually no studies done for the dose rates that are in our community fluoridated water of 0.8 milligrams per litre. And my point is just saying, well, we can't prove it's toxic at the lower dose levels isn't sufficient to therefore say, therefore it's safe. And I really object to that. In fact, I even object to a binding referendum, because why should my neighbour vote that my children have to consume something that my scientific understanding is it's not safe for them? So I actually think that this should be an opt-in thing. You should provide education to people, and if they wish to put fluoride into their bodies, it's very cheap to stick some sodium fluoride tablets in the chemist. Was that found by timer, or was it somebody's phone?
I think somebody else. You've already gone over your 5 minutes.
Oh, have I? You should have stopped me.
That's all right.
All right. Right, then, are there any questions?
Well, I do have time.
But Luke, I think that's
Yes, sorry. Look, you talked about the democratic process with this being shifted to DHB. My understanding is there is scope in the bill for DHBs to run a public consultation process.
Yeah, can I answer that? I do know that it's not as rigorous and not as extensive and is not always used compared to the likes of being able to come to a select committee and be heard, and I'm just not as happy with it. And I also don't think they listen because they've got not a mandate, but sort of they're under a lot of pressure to follow the Ministry of Health guidelines, so why wouldn't they?
But is it not a good thing to make a decision based on hard evidence and then also on the community's feel for it?
No, because I think the hard evidence you call hard evidence in the 2014 review, it doesn't give hard evidence for the dose rates we've got in our water, and it doesn't take into account the National Research Council. It doesn't take into account a lot of things, including what the Medical Council is saying. They've got counter arguments to some of those things that review is saying. And because it's contentious, it has to be an option where we're not forced to take it if we don't agree with that. Just saying. Yeah.
Can I say thank you very much for your submission, and particularly the suggestions on page 9, not just critiquing the bill, but making some constructive alternative suggestions. That's a very welcome approach, because it gives us something concrete to consider.
Okay.
So thank you for that. Dr. Jane Beck.
Yes.
Hi, welcome.
Jane.
Dr. Beck, I'm David Clark, and this is Sarah Dowie. We know the drill by now. We have 5 minutes, and I see you've supplied some additional information here,
Yeah.
which will, we're in your hands as to how you use the time.
I'm also presenting for fluoride-free Thames.
Yes.
What I'd like to do is just do one presentation followed directly by the other one, and then have questions at the end.
Fine, absolutely fine.
Okay, honourable members, my name is Dr. Jane Beck, and I'm a retired medical practitioner. My speciality was work-related medicine, and I provided some slides, as you know, to aid my presentation. As a medical practitioner, I'm opposed to this bill because its intention is to extend water fluoridation across New Zealand, and I believe water fluoridation is an unethical public health practice, because we know that fluoride works directly on the teeth and not through swallowing it. Ingesting fluoride is what puts us at risk of harm, and infants and children are particularly at risk of harm, and I'd like to show you why. So the next slide, Paracelsus gave us the paradigm that the dose makes the poison, and the larger the dose, what he's saying is the greater the effect and the greater the risk of adverse effect. But also the smaller the size, the greater the effect on the third slide. And to take this into consideration, we need to express the dose-weight ratio in milligrams per kilogram body weight. So as an example, on the next slide, we'll see that a 7 kilogram infant drinking a typical 700 ml, 1 part per million fluoridated water would ingest a dose of 0.1 milligram per kilogram per day. A 70 kg man, a tenth of that dose at 0.01. But of course men do drink more, and if you look at 2.4 litre typical dose for them, they still have a considerably lower dose, 0.03. Fluoridated water only contributes part of the total daily fluoride dose. And for infants, the Ministry of Health recommends that families are screened twice a day with a balanced adult strength fluoride toothpaste. Because they can't spit, they swallow this toothpaste, giving them a fluoride dose of about 0.05. Add to this the fluoride from the formula and of 0.01 and the water, and we've got a total dose of about 0.016 milligrams per kilogram per day. And I'm going to come back to this figure. Another important paradigm is the timing makes the poison. And this reflects the fact that during the windows in a child's development, they are more susceptible to harm from toxins and can suffer permanent injury at low levels of exposure that would have little or no adverse effect in an adult. And slide 7 shows us that a classic example is dental fluorosis, a developmental defect of tooth enamel caused by excess fluoride ingested between birth and 8 years of age. And the more fluoride ingested, the greater the injury. So the New Zealand Oral Health Survey found 44.5% with some level of fluorosis and 2% with moderate fluorosis. So this makes dental fluorosis a very common adverse effect of fluoride treatment in New Zealand, and moderate fluorosis a common adverse effect. So the next slide shows that fluoride has been recognised also as a developmental neurotoxin, another example of the timing makes the poison. And a number of studies have shown a correlation between dental fluorosis and reduced intelligence, particularly with moderate and severe fluorosis. Intelligence decreases as fluorosis increases. And the threshold dose for moderate dental fluorosis is 0.1 milligram per kilogram per day. And our 7 kilogram formula-fed infant is well over this threshold at 0.16 milligram per kilogram per day. And with moderate fluorosis, a common adverse effect in New Zealand, this is a concern. A study out of China recently translated into English has found a clear dose-response relationship we see on slide 9, showing the dose-response relationship between total fluoride intake and IQ. As total fluoride intake increases, IQ levels decrease, with no obvious threshold below which there is no risk. And to put this graph into context, the middle point shows a dose of 2.6 is associated with a 7-point IQ drop, and the point above of 1.3 milligrams with a 1.5-point IQ drop. And as you can see, our similarly aged New Zealand children living in fluoridated areas are having overlapping figures of their estimated fluoride intake. So in conclusion, I oppose this bill because I believe adding fluoride to our drinking water as a preventative treatment, we're taking a risk we cannot afford to take. Because what is at risk is the health of our nation. And it is an unnecessary risk. Because there are safer ways to improve oral health in New Zealand using a programme like the Scottish Child Smile. So I don't know how much time I've had.
You've had about close to 6 minutes.
Oh dear, let's speak faster then. So the fluoride-free TENS presentation, we believe with the intention again to extend water fluoridation across New Zealand is unethical. Not merely because it denies choice, but because it is unsafe, doesn't do the job it's supposed to, and is no longer the only way to tackle tooth decay, and therefore denies every New Zealander their health consumers' rights. The cornerstone of ethical health practice and what keeps them safe. The Cartwright inquiry into the cervical cancer scandal at Auckland's Women's Hospital resulted in our health consumers' rights regulations that gives individuals receiving health services the right to informed consent, services appropriate to individual needs, with minimisation of harm and the right to refuse or withdraw consent at any time. Public health is not so concerned with individuals but with populations, and public health programmes like vaccination do allow us to have these rights. Others like cycle helmets and seat belts do not, and we exchange that for the greater good. But water fluoridation is the only public health intervention that involves adding a substance to our drinking water in order to treat the human body, and preventative treatment at that. And because it's not done on an individual basis, it's impossible to respect these health consumers' rights. It has been argued that it doesn't deny human rights because it's completely safe, effective, and helps the poor and most vulnerable children. However, if you follow the paperwork on this stance, it goes right back to 1957 and the Commission of Inquiry into the Fluoridation of Public Water Supplies. And on page 3 we see their conclusion regarding this, that the issue concerning rights of individuals has practical importance only after a decision is made that fluoridation is a desirable process. 2, that the benefits of fluoride cannot effectively be made available by alternative means, and 3, that it is completely safe. And this process would be unacceptable if it were ineffective or hazardous. So much has changed in 60 years when they believed that water fluoridation was safe and the only effective public health practice. They didn't know that the main mechanism of action is directly on the teeth and not through swallowing it. They didn't have fluoride toothpaste. And they didn't know that the gold standard Cochrane review on topical fluorides would show that using fluoride toothpaste was so much more effective than drinking fluoridated water, that for those using fluoride toothpaste, there is no extra benefit to be gained from living in a fluoridated area. I'll just repeat that. For those using fluoride toothpaste, there is no extra benefit to be gained from living in a fluoridated area. And now there are alternative public health programs like Child Smile, improving oral health using topical fluorides. There's no need to swallow fluoride. 60 years ago also, they didn't know that tooth decay levels would continue to fall in both fluoridated and non-fluoridated areas alike, but we would still have some. If we look at the 2015 statistics, the latest published, we find that 41% of 5-year-olds in New Zealand still have some evidence of tooth decay, which makes them by definition those most at risk of further tooth decay, and these are the ones that we need to help. Looking at the average number of teeth affected by tooth decay using the DMFT, we see that they have 4.46 teeth affected by tooth decay. In fluoridated areas, they have 4.39 teeth affected by tooth decay.